Hey, what's up guys, it's Cher, and I am going to talk about something super personal today. I'm going to talk about what it's like being bullied in high school and middle school and elementary school, and then coming back from it and learning about yourself and kind of growing up and learning to make your own ideas of who you are rather than what your bullies are saying about you. So if you're interested in watching, just keep on. Yay! Okay. Bye! After all of that time, the bullying and the ridicule, it's just like, it's so weird to have other people recognize you. And I'm out of focus. Focus! Hey guys, what's up? When you have been a YouTuber for 2 years and you've always had a really shitty camera, and then you go ahead and you buy a big, expensive, fancy camera, and then suddenly you notice things about your set, like, why are there so many wrinkles in my blanket? And then you feel weird, and then you feel the need to fix it. So, I'm gonna go fix it. My dress is from Forever 21. This is not a sponsored video, but I just felt the need to say that because it's very cute. So this is a video I've thought about making for a while now. And the idea has been in my head because I've just been thinking a lot about my experiences as like a young 20-year-old girl versus being a young teenager. I feel like I've touched on a lot of this stuff briefly in all of my other videos. Like, if you actually watch my videos and enjoy them, and you watch them even if you don't watch Shadowhunters or Black Lightning, I will relate whatever's going on the TV show to my life. And if you've been here for a really long time, you'll remember that I started as a Steven Universe YouTube account rather than anything else. And I used to make a lot of personal videos when I first started, and then I stopped doing them once I started doing Shadowhunters because I was doing that weekly. And it actually was like really hard, and it took up a lot of my time, so I couldn't really do much else. So when I was really young, I was in the 5th grade. I got my first girlfriend. And we would go and we would like go kiss in the bathroom, and then we'd come back to class and act like everything was fine, and that didn't just happen. And she ended up telling everyone. She told one person, and one person told one person, and it turned into the whole school finding out that I was gay before I even knew what the term lesbian meant. So I was really, like, not traumatized by it, but when that started and everyone knew my business, I will definitely say it started up all of my anxiety. And it changed the way people viewed me. Like, people would like actually like come up and tell me that I was like gonna go to hell and I should try to change, and people would really like, and they're kids, so they don't know any better, so they would be sitting here telling me these things and like not even realizing how like damaging it was to my psyche. So I would have kids come up to me, and the thing is, the girlfriend that I had kept her name out of it. Like, she said that I came on to her and I wanted to kiss her, and she didn't like reciprocate those feelings, and all of this was on me, and it was on me alone. And when that started, everything kind of changed. So I started getting bullied and from 5th grade. And the thing is, I never really changed schools. I never changed like my school district, I'll say. So then when I went from 5th grade up into 6th grade, you're in a new building, and then there are some new kids. So there were some new kids in that didn't know me, and there were the kids that did, and then the other kids would find out, and then it would start up again. So this was an ongoing thing from 5th grade to middle school to high school. And what really happened was, like, boys would call me ugly, and then like for a while I completely ignored the fact that I was gay. I was just like, no, I'm not, it's not true, like, don't worry about it, and then I wouldn't act on my own feelings. Then I met another girl in the 6th grade or 7th grade, I think, that I had feelings for, and we had like a little thing, and then she broke up with me because she was out of the closet and I didn't want to come out. And the thing is, that was honestly really stupid because everyone already knew, and I was being ridiculed constantly. And it turned into, after a while, it's like they kind of forgot that I was gay, and they kind of just started going in like, Sheridan's ugly, or Sheridan's not funny, Sheridan's not cool, Sheridan's annoying, like Sheridan's crazy, like Sheridan always has something to say. It turned into that rather than, oh, Sheridan's gay, stay away from her. So when it translated to that, like, boys would start to pick on me more than girls, because girls were starting to learn how to like talk shit quietly rather than like come straight up to your face and like steal your lunchbox or something. So boys would just tell me that I was ugly, and then they'd come up to me and tell me, because at that point I was telling people that I was straight, or if I felt really safe with them, I'd tell them I was bi. So people would come up to me, like boys would come up to me and be like, oh yeah, you know, this boy likes you, do you like him? They'd wait for me to say, yeah, I like him too, and then they would like make fun of me, and they'd be like, oh no, we were just kidding, he doesn't actually like you, he doesn't know who you are, da 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 da. So I went through all of this in like middle school. I haven't even gotten to high school yet. So that was basically like my existence, and I had a very small select group of friends. There was Ashley, Hunter, Virginia, and just a few other people. Like, it was a very small group of misfits, and all of my friends ended up being like other misfits and other people who were like bullied or attacked or just didn't fit in, and we all kind of became our own little group. It was like us versus the preps versus the cliques versus everybody, and I felt very safe within that group. But outside of that group, I was lost. I was completely and totally lost, and I never knew what to do with myself if they weren't around me. So when I got to high school, things changed a little bit again. I decided pretty much my freshman year of high school, I was like, I'm not going to give a shit what anybody thinks about me. I was like, I can't focus on how they feel. I can only focus on me and how they make me feel. And I don't care anymore. That's what I decided. I don't care anymore. I'm gonna do whatever I want, and I'm gonna have a damn good time. So what that turned into was me unapologetically learning to love myself. But because I loved myself so much, or I was trying to, I was like basically like faking it until I made it, I would overcompensate. So I was extra loud, I was extra bold, and I was just extra, and I would sing and I would dance with my friends in the middle of class. We would giggle until the end of time, and we'd talk about how cute the boy was next to us, and we had like our hot boy of the day or hot boy of the week, and we would do these crazy ridiculous things, and I still wouldn't focus on the fact that I liked women. And the thing is, I do find men attractive. I do think men are fine, but I don't want to be in a relationship with them. I don't want to date them, and you know, things of that sort. I can appreciate the way they look, but I can't really appreciate them in any other sense of the form. So I was pretty much living my life pretty stagnant. You know, kids would still talk shit. Eventually everyone started calling me Snoop Dogg because I wore braids in my hair, and I would still get the dirty looks, and people would still kind of like say mean things, and I would get into arguments, like heated arguments, and with people, and luckily they never escalated to like physical fighting, but like people always had something to say about me, whether if it was because I was too loud, or if it was because I was too bold, or I just feel like people like to attack my confidence, because when I was in high school, confidence wasn't a thing. Like, you weren't supposed to strut around the hallways. You were supposed to walk to class. You weren't supposed to sing at the top of your lungs because you knew you could hit the notes. You were supposed to sing it as best you can and then go on about your day. And I was just over it. Like, I wanted to live my life the way I wanted to live it. So I pretty much lost my mind in high school. And then I got to 10th grade and I was a cheerleader, and no, like literally maybe one or two girls on the squad liked me, and everybody else was just like, they would deal with me, but we weren't friends. Like, we didn't exchange numbers and text all the time. Like, that's one thing I hate about like high school movies. Like, cheerleaders are not always friends. We're not always grouped together like the whole squad. No, it's not like that at all. Even within the cheerleading squad, there were cliques, and I was kind of in like the black girl clique, but it's like I was there because I couldn't go anywhere else, because the white girls were definitely not fucking with me. So what that ended up turning into was, even though I was a part of so many groups, I was in choir, I was a cheerleader, I still felt very isolated, and I always felt like I was being watched and I was being ridiculed, and if I focused on it too much, I would get very upset and I would fall apart, because not only was I being like ridiculed and made fun of while I was at school, I was also being like attacked at home, I felt like, because I have such an oddly strained, awkward relationship with my mother, and it fluctuates. Sometimes it's really good for weeks or months, and sometimes it's really bad for years. Like, it's just one of those things that fluxes and goes up and down, and it changes all the time. And at that time when I was in high school, we did not get along. So not only was I dealing with all of these kids at school who were messing with me, but then there was also this lingering fighting, anger, resentment with my mom, who would tell me that I had a terrible attitude and that no one was ever gonna love me, and like, why would anyone want to be friends with me because I was so this and that. And she would say these things that just felt like I was being attacked all the time. So it's not like I really had like a safe space to come back to or to get away from all of the bad things that were happening in school, which is honestly probably how I got into like having a fandom. Because once I actually got like a cell phone, like an iPhone, when I was like 16 or 17, I got into like Twitter and YouTube, and I fell in love with Fifth Harmony, and I finally had something that made me feel good without having to worry about how other people felt about it. Because I always was getting other people's opinions. I would get the opinions of the people that were in my school of me, even when I didn't ask. I would get my mother's opinion when I definitely didn't ask. And then finally I found Fifth Harmony, this girl group that just like made me feel sane and made me feel safe. And when I saw how funny acting like Camila Cabello was in the group, and it made me feel like, okay, so there are other people who are just as weird and loud and crazy as I am. And my best friend Ashley, she kept me sane, and it blows my mind, because I really genuinely feel like Ashley could have flourished if she had not been my best friend. If she had not been by my side, I genuinely feel like she could have been with the preps, hanging out, having a good time, just really enjoying, you know, her high school career. And instead, she was my friend, which meant she got a lot of ridicule from other people just because she was affiliated with me. And I really wonder like how it would have gone if we weren't friends, because we were both singers and we both love to sing. And like, if I was ever in a talent show, I'd never get that many woos and like cheers and yays and stuff like that. But if Ashley ever did anything by herself, the crowd would like erupt. And I just think that's like so crazy to me, because like, I wonder what her high school experience would have been like if she hadn't have been there for me, and if she hadn't have been my friend. Like, what differences would our lives have been? I probably would have killed myself, to be honest, and I don't know what she'd be doing. But the reason I'm sitting here and spilling my guts and making this video is because I wanted to talk about what it was like to move away from this area, from these kids who had affected me so incredibly and so dearly, and just how that changed once I moved away. When I moved when I had literally 3 months away from graduating. I had to move, and I was in a completely new school district. I had to like walk to school or get driven to school. I couldn't ride the bus anymore. And I was suddenly the new kid, and I had never been the new kid before. I had been at my school district since I was in the 2nd grade. And to leave right before you're supposed to finish and be done altogether, I was so hurt. So when I got to my new school, I did not really want to associate with anybody. I didn't really, it's not that I didn't want to make friends, but I wasn't actively trying to either. And then I was in a place that was culturally very different. So like, when I moved from one school to another, I also got moved into like a different like culture space that I was not a part of. At my old school, you were pretty much black or white, and then that was pretty much it. There were a couple Asian girls in there, a couple Hispanic girls in there, a couple Indian girls in there, but it was very far and few in between. And then I got shucked to a place that like had a totally different culture that I didn't understand. Everyone was speaking a different language and I was just confused as fuck. And I just felt really lost and once again like an outsider, but in a way that I feel like was honestly a lot worse than being bullied. Because at least when I was being bullied, I had my core four. I had my friends that were there to like support me and protect me and to talk me down off the ledge. And then when I got moved to a different school district, I was completely lost. Completely lost. Everybody was so different. Everybody looked different. Everybody sounded different. And I wanted to curl up in a ball and die. So eventually I get my footing. I'm only going to be at the school for 3 months anyway. So I get my footing and I meet an amazing guy named Will, and he brings me into his friend circle, and I meet so many wonderful people at this place, and I'm shocked because I felt like I had found my misfits again. I was friends with this emo boy who played screamo music all the time, and a girl who was obsessed with Steven Universe, and friends that spoke 5 different languages. I was shocked. I was like, how did I get so lucky to find another set of people that I really love and enjoy? And by this time, I'm 17. I was 16 and 17 my senior year. And by this time, I'm 17, and I meet the first girl at this school that I, like, I don't want to say fell in love with, but that I really liked. And suddenly I felt like, you know, everything was clearing up. I was starting to feel really, like, sure of myself and okay. And then school was over. As soon as, you know, you get comfy, whew, you gotta start all over again. You gotta try to figure yourself out all over again. So I was talking to the girl that I really liked for a little bit, and then that got cut off super fast. Like, there was so much buildup. And then the actual relationship was literally like 30 seconds, and then it was over and it was done with. And I was super sad, I was super heartbroken, and then I got my first job. So I started working at a fast food restaurant, and I met so many nice people and so many mean people. I was there for over a year, and now by this point I'm 19 and I'm starting my second job, and that's super fun and exciting, and I'm in an area where I'm like surrounded by adults, and there's something about adults like that is so precious to me. Like when they're not assholes, like warm, heartfelt adults are literally the best humans in the entire world. So I end up around this group of grown women, and they are the warmest and sweetest people I've ever met, and they're so nice to me, and they're so wonderful that I'm kind of shocked. I'm like, wow, people can be nice. Like, older people can be nice, because the kids my age are sometimes great, but most of the time terrible. And I'm shocked because they're always telling me like how pretty I am, and how like nice my body is, and how like I could take over the world one day, and I could be like running a company. And I am shocked because why are these people being so nice to me? Like, what did I do to deserve this? And then I left that job, I moved on, I did another thing, and I continuously met more nice people, and I started running into less bad people. And now I'm on to my 4th job, and I am in awe by how nice people are. And as I've gotten older and as I've decided to go out more, I'm going to the movies, I'm going to the mall, I'm amazed, because now I'm going out and I'm meeting people, and I'm noticing it's a pattern, how nice everyone is. And then when I started interacting, even though I'm not attracted to men come up to me so much and ask me out and ask for my number and tell me how pretty I am. And women do it too, but they don't be shooting their shot like that, you know. And I'm completely in awe, because I have been told pretty much my entire existence that I was ugly, and that I had a terrible personality, and that no one was ever gonna love me. And then I run into these humans now as a 20-year-old that think I'm so beautiful, and they want to get to know me, and they think that I'm a good person, and they think the way that I think and how I feel is very exhilarating and exciting for them, and suddenly people want to know who I am. And I'm still shocked because I've been told basically my entire existence with other humans that I wasn't related to, that I was ugly and that I wasn't attractive in any way, shape, or form. And I'm really confused. And it's like I almost don't know how to take it when people compliment me and when people say nice things. Like, obviously I'm very grateful, you know, thank you. But like when I really truly think about it, I'm confused. And I'm like, you think I'm pretty? Like, it's such a shocking thing, and it shouldn't be shocking. Like, what I went through through all of my time in school should never have happened in the first place. Kids obviously shouldn't bully other kids, but obviously it happened, and I was affected by it, and now I am shocked when people find me attractive, and when people want to take me out on a date, or when people want to talk about like how pretty I am. And it's so shocking to me. Like, I'm shocked when people are nice to me. And I truly do mean like random people, like not people that I've gotten to know and they know my personality and they like me. I mean when people first meet me and we have a conversation and they're suddenly interested in who I am as a person. It blows my mind because it never happened before. Like, until I turned about 19, that never happened. I had constantly been like attacked and ridiculed or just ignored. So now that I have kind of grown into myself and I've gotten into like doing makeup and having real confidence, because all of my confidence pretty much in high school was fake, and I was constantly scared and confused and wanting someone to tell me what to do. Now I don't need that. I don't need anyone to tell me what to do. I know that I'm beautiful, and I now know that other people see it too. I always knew that I was attractive. I always knew that I was pretty, but I thought it was something that only I could see. I notice when people look at me and when people stare at me, and it confuses me. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know what to do now with all of this attention that I never really got before. It's almost like, where do we go from here? And it's not going to my head. Like, I'm not gonna become this like cocky bastard. I was already a cocky bastard, and that was in high school when I was like faking all of my confidence. But now it's just like, what the fuck do I do? Like, what do I do now? Like, what? You think I'm pretty? What? Like, and it makes me feel good. It makes me feel really good, and in ways I don't think I've ever felt good before. So many people have always told me that like I just wasn't shit, and now I'm realizing that they're the ones who aren't shit. Like, I can be beautiful, and I am beautiful, and other people recognize it, other people see it, and that didn't really happen before. And if you actually were listening, I said that doesn't happen. I was about to say that doesn't happen, but it does now, and it's gonna take me a long time to get used to it, because it's about more than that. It's about how it makes me feel. And it makes me feel really good about myself in a way I don't think I have ever felt good about myself, because so much of it was in my head. So much of it wasn't real. And now that I'm older and really getting to know myself, I know now that it is real, and that it is me, and that people do like me. And that sounds so childish and young, but like, it blows my mind. Like, people like me? What? Like, and I'm not saying that like it gets me off at night or anything, but I am saying that it does make me feel good, and it makes me feel recognized. And I don't want the feeling to stop. When I think back to how I felt in high school, and how I felt in middle school, and how I felt in elementary school, it's such a relief to not feel like that anymore. Oh God, it feels so good to not have that weight on your shoulder, to feel like everyone's watching you and everyone is ridiculing you. It makes me feel so much better now, and I'm so glad that I've kind of come into myself and I have made myself this better person, and faking confidence until it became real confidence really did this for me. And deciding to ignore everyone else, it did wonders for me. And now that I am older and I do notice, like, people are interested, people are noticing me, like, people see me for who I am and not what they've heard. And it just makes me feel really safe and really happy. And I'm ranting, and even my camera told me I was ranting and that I should probably stop speaking. So I'm gonna cut this video off here. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. If you were ever bullied in high school, if you have an experience like this, leave a comment below and we can talk about it. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.